What's a subtle sign of low intelligence? Reddit, for the love of God, stop equating intelligence with virtue. There are assholes who are smart and kind people who are dumb. If anything, in my culture, kindness would be associated with lower intelligence. But maybe I'm equating lower intelligence with class. I've worker in a call center doing opinion polls, and the biggest assholes ever were ones who would burn your ear off with their insight. But again, they weren't assholes because they were intelligent, it's just there's assholes across the spectrum. Smart people can be dogmatic and prone to hubris and ignorance. I don't know for sure what is a sign of low intelligence, and I disagree with most comments, but I think a sign of high intelligence is the ability to analyze each situation or event. So if I could call something as an evidence of low intelligence, I'd say acting without thought. I mean, that's literally what separates us from animals. If someone only acts based on surges, impulses and emotions, then he isn't that intelligent. Humans know they'll die, animals don't know anything about death. We should know that our actions have consequences, animals don't. So the same with dumb people. They don't understand their actions have consequences because they fail to analyze them. They say, I don't read books. Actually, it doesn't mean they have low intelligence necessarily, but it makes them very boring to talk to. I have two friends. One reads and the other doesn't. Given the choice of being stuck in an elevator or a desert island with one of them, I would choose the latter. The other guy just has no depth to his personality. His opinions are based on the last thing he saw on the internet and change from week to week as a result, but he doesn't seem to recall what his last opinion was. Went on a date with a girl, all she talked about was an abusive ex-boyfriend, how one of her hookups wanted her to cry during sex because it would help him come. When I gave her what I assume was just an absolutely bamboozled look after she said it, two of her remaining neurons fired and she had to take a second to pause and then say, "Oh, but don't worry, I didn't cry for him while he fucked me," because that was the problem. Anytime I prompted her about her goals, her future, the passion she had towards things, I could see a blank stare. Truly incredible, I could find a rock and find more brain activity. Getting agitated by blatant political propaganda. Blindly subscribing to ideology based on political party affiliation rather than critical thinking. An inability to process perspectives other than their own, low tolerance for cognitive dissonance, and as a result, an inability to interact/coexist with people that hold opposing views. Highly generalized statements, i.e. all, race/profession/political party, are, attribute. Upon reading this back, I realized that behavior like this may actually stem from low EQ/emotional awareness rather than low intelligence. I know plenty of very intelligent people that fall for some of these traps. Maybe it's an inability to separate political views from the superego that affects some more than others. Rigid/inflexible thought process. People who have learned something growing up and can't get used to the idea that what they've learned is outdated or just wrong. They fight, resist, and ultimately, after doing collateral damage to the people around them, they accept. I'm okay with people who are slow or can't accept change. That's okay. Most old people are like that. It comes with age. BYT, the good ones I know understand/suffer in silence. They don't lash out. Some people just have to be an A*show about it. I just want to say that I've been always told that, makes you sound unintelligent, but I disagree because it is a way a lot of people say to usually inform one that they are thinking. It's the equivalence to stuttering and pausing to think. Matter of fact, some people don't like silence as an answer, because it sounds like ignorance. For people like me, if I think, I take a longer time. If I were to pause, someone could get upset because I didn't say anything at all. Not even an elongated, And yes, I have talked to people that have gotten upset because I paused instead of saying, because my father would manipulatively force me to try and get into the habit of pausing silently because, sounds dumb to him. They believe in multiple conspiracy theories. Most of the time I see that, it's because they can't really grasp that the reality is a complicated, interlocking set of human problems. It's easier to believe lizard people than to understand the nature of corruption and greed in politics. Similarly, People who believe the pyramids had to be made by aliens because there's no way people figured out how to build them by themselves. People in ancient Egypt had math. Just because you can't understand geometry or basic physics doesn't mean people back then couldn't. Someone that doesn't question their own intelligence, or is unaware of how much they don't know. There is this well-known principle where the more you know about a subject, the less you think you know. Simply because you become aware of what you don't know. Whereas if you have minimal knowledge of a subject, you don't know what you don't know, hence vastly overestimating your own knowledge. Also, people who can't recognize their own bias, or think that they are above bias/being influenced. Every single one of us is susceptible to bias/influence/propaganda. The ones that are able to recognize that are better equipped at avoiding it as much as possible.